Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Last time we escaped escaped from Naboo. We can just say that. But you may have noticed, by looking at the screen now, that my stud count is considerably different to what it was before. Well, there's two reasons. One, I was having issues in the next level we're doing, and I ended up just restarting a new profile because it did mess up a few things. Mainly in the mini kits, and two, I've been trying to do this level like 2 times now. I know it sounds stupid, but I want to do like full mini kit run after this, and there's one mini kit which I keep picking up because they're all located right right next to the poles, which are the only way of getting studs in this level to fill up the True Jedi meter. It's a really annoyingly placed one too. Anyway, Chapter 4, Mos Espa Pod Race. I thought we were in Mos Eisley. Queen Amidala and her Jedi protectors have fled Naboo, heading for Coruscant. They plan to inform the Galactic Senate of the Trade Federation invasion. However, the Royal Starship's hyperdrive is damaged in the escape, and they have been forced, to land on the remote planet of Tatooine for repairs. Wasn't this place called Mos Eisley? I'm pretty sure Wasso says that at some point. He says it's in Mos Eisley. So where did Mos Espa come from? Is that just the name of the canyon? We have a very tiny ship. All you have to do is just reassemble that thing. That's all you have to do, just reassemble it. By the way, which... I never understood at what point in the film did Queen Amidala and Padme switch roles. That was one thing I never got. Like, we see her talking to Padme before they even escape Naboo. So was it... I'm not sure you pronounce her name. Zeb? Keira Knightley? The entire time? I was never sure of who's playing who at what point in the film. I've never been able to follow that. And look at all those still images that include plenty of Anakins. By the way, this race is incredibly dangerous, but if we win, we will win that $5 that Qui-Gon... Padme, Obi-Wan, none of them have $5 on them. That clearly says 500 cents. But we don't have $5 and credits will not do fine. Yeah, these poles, these are the only ways to get studs in this level, along with these little crystal things in here. And guess what? There's a mini kit in this cave as well. There it is right there. They come inside these other thingamabobs here, these star-shaped things. And the thing that kept throwing me off the first before was that in the original version of this level... Right, here it is. That mini kit right there. I hate that mini kit. Get out of my way. In the original version of this level, in order to go fast, you had to hold down the jump button. That was how you accelerated in the original version of this level. In the revamped version for the Complete Saga, you just have to hold forwards, but nothing in the game tells you about that. There is nothing saying that you can just hold forwards. So I was holding down the jump button the entire time, only moving left and right. And it turns out it was holding forwards that I had to do in order to win the race. I know it sounds stupid, but when you've played LEGO Star Wars 1 so many times, a lot more than I have this game, it really throws you off. Especially when nothing in the game actually tells you about that. Yeah, you need a TIE fighter for that ramp. Or something related to Imperial fighters. Even though the Empire isn't a thing yet, you need a TIE fighter to get in there. That was something that was added for the Complete Saga. And it's, annoyingly, it's the only... It's the only mini kit that requires the free play mode in this level. None of the others require it. Yeah, we're trying to overtake Sebulba. Not until the final lap. In the original version, you're simply under a time limit. That's what you have to do in the original. Ooh, I barely avoided that. Alright, we've got the True Jedi. So this is what we have to do. Now we have to overtake Sebulba. So make sure you're holding forwards. It's just, unfortunately, it's really fast. I mean, it's cool. That I'll give it. I mean, the original Mos Espa pod race, firstly, those pits, they actually launch you upwards. You can't fall into them in this version, but the flames and the smoke aren't there in the original, and instead you simply fell down. And the walls would hurt you, but because you can't get back out, it may as well just be... It may as well just kill you. Because there's no way of getting out again. But in the original version, you were simply under a time limit. And it got stricter with each lap, and it was split into 3 sections. The first section would end at the cave. The second section would end just there. And the time limit was really strict, and Sebulba would be dropping bombs here right now. They're pretty hard to avoid, actually. But here, we simply have to overtake him. So this is actually a race. In the original version, it's a time limit. And when you unlock the original version, which requires you to unlock a specific room, I can't remember how you unlock said room, but you then need a bunch of gold bricks, I believe, in order to access the level. When you play that version of the level, they made the pod race really stiff. I don't know why. It doesn't feel stiff when you actually play LEGO Star Wars 1. The pod race doesn't really feel that any different in LEGO Star Wars 1 to how it felt here. But for some reason they made it really stiff here. Well, this is going to be one of the... This is the only level where the pod racer is really useful. It's outright useless in every other level because it doesn't have a blaster of any sort. And it feels, despite its speed, compared to like all of the fighters and everything, you'll find that the pod racer is actually really slow, and then it feels stiff when you play it in other levels. So that's the only problem with some of the vehicles, which you get for free play mode. Something that began in LEGO Star Wars 2. It feels very sluggish. Some vehicles from LEGO Star Wars 1, because we didn't have vehicle levels like that, they were pretty much useless. They're pretty much useless. As are several of the mini kits. They're really useless. So that is a problem, unfortunately, but it's not too bad. Right, time for the longest level in LEGO Star Wars 1. Chapter 5, Retake Theed Palace. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. On Coruscant, Queen Amidala has found the Galactic Senate corrupted by Trade Federation influence and mired in bureaucracy. Whatever that means. Frustrated, she has returned home to Naboo, together with Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Captain Panaka, the randomly appearing R2-D2, and the young pod racer from Tatooine, Anakin Skywalker. Queen Amidala now plans to infiltrate the royal palace and capture the evil Trade Federation viceroy. By the way, Newt Gunray never appears in this game. He is nowhere to be seen. He's in LEGO Star Wars 3, but that's because he's also plays quite a prominent role in the series, the Clone Wars. But we don't see him anywhere here. Even though he appears in all 3 films, we never see him anywhere, even in the scenes where he should be there. But we never see him. Alright, thankfully we don't have to play as Jar Jar anymore. We don't play as him in this level. We only play as Jar Jar in one level in the game. Until free play mode, where he's pretty much the game's default high jumping character, even when you've bought some of the others. It's pretty much the one that it will always set to, apart from some very rare occasions. Along with that one up there, Captain Tarple. So, Captain Tarple is a character you can buy in this game. He was a new character added for the complete saga. I mean, Captain Tarple is there in LEGO Star Wars 1, but you can't play as him. He's pretty useless though. He attacks with like a spear combo, and it's nowhere near as useful as a lightsaber. So other than his high jump, but I guess that instantly makes him more useful than Jar Jar, I guess. Alright. Obi-Wan, please make the bush bigger. Right, so Retake the Palace is probably the longest level in LEGO Star Wars 1. Though when you start playing LEGO Star Wars 2 and the complete saga, it really does feel like nothing. Because LEGO Star Wars 2 stages are considerably longer. Yeah, I can ride this thing now. But when it comes to LEGO Star Wars 1, this is, if not the longest, definitely the second longest, along with one level in Revenge of the Sith, which I really, really hate. It's probably my least favorite level in LEGO Star Wars 1. Dare I say, out of all the LEGO Star Wars, actually, I really hate the level. Right, there's droidicas over there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Padme, and then we're going to fire. And then when the droidicas are coming towards you, you want to try and shoot them as fast as you can, and then boom, they're good. Right, switch back to a Jedi, and now just deflect. Just keep pressing the button every time one of the lasers is about to come towards you. And this is really just, this is all you gotta do now. Doesn't work with every projectile, but it works for the most part. Come on, kill the droid. There we go. Don't know why that wasn't working before. Or you could use this thing, which I'm sure works fine. Ah ha ha ha! How did that happen? What did I do? Did I fly into an explosion and that's what killed me or something? Yay! This thing feels like it probably should be a lot stiffer than it is. It's actually really loose. Really quite... It controls quite well, actually. And press the C button to exit. Unless you're playing on an Xbox 360 or a PS3. In which case, don't. So like I say. Now there is an iPhone version of this as well. From what I've seen from a little bit of YouTube footage that I sort of quickly went over, it looks exactly the same. It's pretty impressive. I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't have thought. I know iPhone can do quite a bit and Android and stuff, but for a game that was released in 2007, that's impressive. I guess it is just pretty much a slightly upscaled version of a game released in 2005 and 2006. And there is a DS version, and I don't know what that's like. I know the DS version of LEGO Star Wars 2 was pretty bad, as much as I know. It's very easy, but it's also quite glitchy. And I think it's no, I think it is from a 3. I think it is 3D. It's just not quite as much of it. Either that, or it's like a 2.5D game. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's like Crash Bandicoot. The 2D sections can allow you to move in a Z-axis. I don't know. Z-axis? What the hell is a Z? What is this Z? It's called the Z-axis. Right, let's avoid that. But well, I forgot what I was saying now. Something about the Z-axis. Oh yeah, and there is a LEGO Star Wars 2 also has a Game Boy Advance version, which is 2D and is also not considered to be very good. I think that one's more like a difficulty thing rather than actual glitches. And LEGO Star Wars 1 had a Game Boy Advance version as well. And I think that one is actually, critical-wise anyway, because, you know, game critics aren't exactly all that trustworthy. Unless it's The Last Jedi, then they're very trustworthy. But, they weren't... They were pretty positive about the Game Boy Advance version around. Let's not worry about all that. The only character I need right now is my favourite Star Wars character, R2-D2. Well, apparently that is his number, but for some reason apparently the official spelling for it is ARTOO DEETOO or something like that. Like, it is actually a word, despite it apparently being a number here. I don't know, maybe they retconned it, maybe they forgot. We also have Anakin, who was supposedly a little bit shorter than the other characters. It's not actually true. From this angle, he looks taller than Padme. Maybe it's the helmet. He always wears the helmet, but in the cutscenes, he never wears it. But he always has it in gameplay, which I never understood. Jedi? Come on, Jedi. No. Droidicas. Oh, I missed. Ow. Where are the Jedi? Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon. There's R2 screaming. Wow! There he goes again. R2, I know you're trying to avoid the conflict, dude, but stop turning around. He just keeps on respawning and then turns around and falls straight down. I don't know what is going on with him right now. The AI can be a bit stupid at times in LEGO Star Wars. In LEGO Star Wars 1, and for some reason, they sort of carried it on into the complete saga. Like, especially when you're in free play mode, the characters like to randomly switch. The second, if it's not 2-player, then it likes to just randomly switch characters every now and then. Even if you actually want them set to a specific character, well, it means anything because they can't really do anything. But they will just randomly switch characters. They took that away in LEGO Star Wars 2, but in the complete saga, it will still do it in LEGO Star Wars 1 levels, but it won't do it for the LEGO Star Wars 2 levels. And that is really confusing and really annoying. And often when it needs to automatically switch to a different character, then what it tends to do is, even if it only needs to scroll 1 time to the next character, it might be the character next to it, it will scroll in completely the wrong direction and have to go through every single character before it gets to the one you want them to be. Oh, droids. I like how they get a free shot in there, but it doesn't hurt me. Why does that need a cutscene? I'm pretty sure that cutscene is added for the complete saga. Yeah, I never found this level to be very interesting. I mean, I never found Escape from Naboo to be very interesting, and for the most part it is just the same graphics, but there's a little bit more interior. In this very shiny floor in the complete saga. I mean, seriously, it's like looking in a mirror. May the women never wear skirts on this floor. There's something outside the windows. I don't think there is anyway. I think there might be one point where there's something outside of one of the windows. But I also might be thinking of a different level. Look at all these studs. You don't get nearly as many in LEGO Star Wars 1, which I still don't understand why the LEGO Star Wars 1 levels give you more studs than you would get in the original game. But the LEGO Star Wars 2 levels give you significantly less than they would in LEGO Star Wars 2. I really don't get that. Why would you do that? It is very strange. You have this jumble of a picture. It looks like a building. It's actually Queen Amidala. Queen Natalie Knightley. Let's call her that. Natalie Knightley. Finished that animation awfully quick. Yeah, so that's quite a lot of droidicas. Droidicas are my second least favourite enemy in LEGO Star Wars 1. Because in LEGO Star Wars... No, I can't remember what enemy annoys me in LEGO Star Wars 2. The immediate level I think of is Dagobah. And these guys that can swing the Jabba's Palace Guards, those pig things. You know, that Luke strangles at the beginning of Return of the Jedi because he is not exactly the friendliest of Jedi, even back then. Yeah, bad guy or not, he's doing his job, isn't he? But, hello? Alright, yeah. This wasn't here in the original, because again, building wasn't a thing. I mean, you had force build, but you didn't have to do it there. My least favourite enemy in LEGO Star Wars 1 is only appeared in one level, and it's Defense of Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith. And it's pretty much, I'm not sure, I don't know what they're actually called. I guess they're just Imperial Walkers. Or Separatist Walker. Like an 80 something. It's not an ATST, I guess it's like an early version of the ATST. I'm pretty sure I can destroy that. Whether there's anything in it, I don't know. I don't want to take the risk. One thing I haven't come across at all yet is the power brick. And the power brick is, it looks just like a regular red Lego brick. That's all it is, but power bricks are something that were introduced in LEGO Star Wars 2 as like an extra collectible. So essentially there's 9 collectibles, and again, you often need a free play mode in order to get to them. And the way you get them is no different than the mini kit. They're obtained in exactly the same way. Still one up there. And what the power brick did is that once you've collected it and finished the level, you would then be able to buy a certain power or something, well, not necessarily power, but buy extras, basically. Now, there are some extras that are available to buy from the beginning, some that become available, I think, as you progress through the game. Because if you pause the game and go to extras, you can see all of them here. I mean, these ones, all the ones in blue are available to buy right now. They're not important at all. It's just stuff like, do you want to turn into some additional characters that are completely useless, like a Womp Rat? Do you want characters to be wearing glasses and fake moustaches? Do you want the grapple hooks to be covered in daisies? Do you want the animals that you can ride, like the Tauntauns or the, what are they called? Banthas to poo? I'm serious. Do you want Chewbacca to be constantly carrying C-3PO, even when C-3PO is in the level? Do you want everything you can grapple on? Do you want everything you can grapple with your snow speeder to be a Death Star? Which I didn't notice for a long time. Do you want every character to be a silhouette? And whatever that does. Everything else requires a red brick. As you can see, there's a lot of red bricks. Because got twice the number of levels here. I don't know why you don't just get the extra when you've collected the power brick, but no, that's not enough. You actually need to buy the extra as well. Which is annoying because some of those power bricks are expensive. The most expensive ones are the score multipliers, which that makes sense. Okay, I get that. That does make sense. That they would be the most expensive, because otherwise it'd be really broken if it wasn't. Now, the way I'm playing the game, which I don't normally do, is I'm going through all the levels normally and then getting all the mini kits and the power bricks. So what that means is that although I'll probably have enough studs to get maybe one of the multipliers, I'm not really going to have... I'm not going to be able to get everything. This game does require grinding. Now, in the complete saga, I didn't find it to be so bad. But in LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2... you needed to grind a lot. Now, in LEGO Star Wars 1, you didn't have multipliers, but nothing was as expensive. And there was a lot less things to get as well. And there was no power bricks or anything. So, it wasn't... It took a long time, but you still... But I wouldn't say it was as bad. In LEGO Star Wars... And there was a level you could grind. The last level in the game... Last proper level, not the hidden one. You could grind there. It takes a while, but you can grind there. In the opening section. Oh, there's a pit there. Right, this part's annoying, because you got to build this bridge. Oh, this plane doesn't do it here. In LEGO Star Wars 1, that creates a load of studs. If I try and build the bridge on top, then that always seems to make most of the studs fall to the floor. If I try and build the bridge from below... most of the studs seem to stay at the top. It's really annoying. But, yeah. I keep losing my trail of thought. So much happens. Because I can't focus for the life of me. Yeah, in LEGO Star Wars 2, you had to grind an awful lot. And I mean a lot. Because you not only had to buy you have to buy every character. You want to buy every upgrade. You have to buy every hint, which is completely pointless. I mean, they don't cost much, but still, it's pointless. You have to buy so much to achieve so little. You can use the Force on these and they explode, but it's not really useful. Because I can't get over there. Well, I sort of can get over there. Where's Anakin? I kind of need him. There he is. Come on, Anakin. We need you in a moment, but first we need to get you access over there. Which requires hitting this button that's just to our side, and then hitting that button, funnily enough. And God, those things are really loud in in Lego Star Wars 1 again. The sound mixing in Lego Star Wars 1 is really bad. Some things are extremely loud. Including those things. They're really loud. And you get them quite a lot in this level. And R2 will always come over here as well. Hey R2. Maybe it's a sign of the friendship that's to come. Although R2 seems to have completely forgotten about it. Well, I guess he's never had a reason. But... Well, no, R2 was aware of Luke Skywalker, but I guess he'll... Well, no, he would remember the name, wouldn't he? Because R2's memory has never been erased. 3PO's was, and that makes sense, but not R2. It's like, why doesn't R2 remember Obi-Wan? I mean, yeah, he's older, but I still recognize him. It's like, hey, you don't look like Ewan McGregor. I don't know why I'm trying to give R2 a voice. You don't look like Ewan McGregor. Whoa, how did I do that? Right here you're sort of building a tower for no real reason. I guess it's to obtain those. Can't destroy these windows though. Only specific windows. If they have the colour. There's no point in trying to use these lights as a... Right, yeah, you want to try and give every character access up there, which mainly means you're going to need to use the Force characters. The Jedi, I should say. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Qui-Gon was easily the best thing about the Phantom Menace. You know, it's... I know the Phantom Menace's acting isn't that great, and I don't think that Qui-Gon is an exception in any way. Huh. So that's how you do that. I don't think Liam Neeson's performance is that great, but it's pretty good. He's still certainly the best thing about the film. And it's yet another thing that the Clone Wars TV series, which is supposed to be canon still, does sort of retcon. Like, he appears as a ghost, played by Liam Neeson, but he does appear as a ghost in the end. Why would you allow me to build this? I bet there's a mini kit in there. Because I'm sure that's where one was in Lego Star Wars 1. But I like Qui-Gon. But unfortunately, what the Clone Wars does is that he appears as a ghost, which Obi-Wan supposedly doesn't know about until the end of Revenge of the Sith, right? Qui-Gon learns how to do it, then he teaches Yoda, who then teaches Obi-Wan. And then I guess Luke will learn how to do it, because let's face it, Luke is going to appear as a ghost in Episode 9. So there's no doubt about that. Because, you know, unfortunately, Luke died in a heroic way, saving the rebellion and giving more hope to the universe, basically, or the galaxy, or whatever. But no, that's apparently still bad. That's still very, very bad. Anakin, aren't you supposed to be able to go in there? No, there's something else that needs doing. Yeah, that's true, actually. Anakin, there's something I need to build. Something else that needs building. How I build it is something I don't remember. There's nothing else here. Maybe I have to go up. You do need every button. Everyone, can't you grab that for me? No. Okay, something... Oh, now he goes. Now he goes. I'm not going to keep going back down there just to grab a few studs. There is really no point. But no, apparently Luke's death was dumb. Because he disappears. Falls back and he disappears. To become one with the Force. To become more powerful than anyone can possibly imagine. That's apparently terrible. Even though he's obviously going to appear as a ghost in the next film. I will say, while it was cool to see Puppet Yoda back in The Last Jedi, being able to like see through him and everything looked weird. Like being able to see through Puppet Yoda, but then I guess that would be the case in Return of the Jedi. I mean, he's on screen for so little there. It was just a bit weird. You don't really get much of a chance to look at him. But yeah, I thought that was cool. And if anybody is wondering, and to all those wondering why Yoda can suddenly summon lightning, this is a world where you can shoot lightning from your fingers. So if Yoda can do that, if the Emperor can do that, why can't Yoda summon lightning? Well, why can't Leia breathe in space? You know, like the giant worm thing in the asteroid can do. I do this in a passive-aggressive way. Because I am not a jerk. Unless you want me to be. And I still won't be. You know? I'm nice. If you don't like The Last Jedi, fine. Just don't... If you want to try and call The Last Jedi being stupid, don't be stupid. That's all I can say. It's like so many people just keep saying, oh, The Last Jedi was so stupid. Literally so many points, and then the points that people make to prove that are even more stupid. Because they're mostly things from the earlier films. And I don't even know what Rogue One's criticism is for. The Force Awakens I get. You know, The Force Awakens being too similar to A New Hope, that I get, but at the same time, I feel it was appropriate just because it had been so long. I mean, it had been 10 years since Revenge of the Sith, and the prequels were still being hated so much over 10 years later. Even if Revenge of the Sith is considered to be the best one, it can pretty much be summed up as the good one, it still gets a lot of flack. So, yeah, I don't blame them for taking things safe, really. I think that was a good approach. The Force Awakens still does enough differently. But unfortunately, what it also meant was, and I was worried it would happen, and it did, it ends up, a few of its similarities also ended up in The Last Jedi, which isn't The Last Jedi's fault. So to all those that are still saying that The Last Jedi is a remake of Empire and Return of the Jedi, that's not The Last Jedi's fault, and I think it worked around it very well. You know, there are similarities, but that's just because The Force Awakens played things so safe that they ended up being unavoidable, because it not only included elements of the Force of A New Hope, it included elements of Empire Strikes Back, which were then carried on into The Last Jedi. And even then, just about everything in The Last Jedi that was similar, that's where we generally had the plot twists. Things like Snoke's death, that is a plot twist, and it's a very interesting plot twist. And this is what really confuses me. Not in addition to why people are complaining about Snoke's lack of backstory, when literally almost every villain that isn't Vader or Ben Solo has no backstory. It's the whole why is it a big deal that he? Because, you know, it's part of Kylo Ren's character development, which immediately contradicts the argument that, in fact, actually, this is a red brick. These unlock extras that you still need to buy. That's nice. Alright, well, we've been able to show one off. I think they'll become a bit more clear in the LEGO Star Wars 2 levels. But, yes, Snoke is part of Kylo Ren's character development. He's not the important one, and I don't know why it's such a problem that he isn't. Because so what? That is the point of the plot twist. A point of an effective plot twist, and I think it is effective. It was unexpected, and this is the thing. You don't want The Last Jedi to be similar to the previous films. You'll criticize it for that, but when it tries to do something different, you criticize it for that as well. So which is it? Do you want the film to be different? Do you want it to be similar? And then there's the criticism that people are saying that it is too different and that it is too similar. That's two completely opposite things. Which one is it? Is The Last Jedi too similar to the previous films, which again isn't even its own fault? Or is it too different to the previous films? And isn't that exactly what what's it called? The Force Awakens did? Isn't that what the prequels did? They were criticized for being too different. When it wasn't the acting that was being criticized, they were called being too different. The Force Awakens is too similar. The Last Jedi is apparently both. Which really goes to show that they just cannot win. They really cannot win. If the film is both too similar and too different, and my lightsaber attack clearly went through the droideka and didn't do anything. So which one is it? Yeah. I really hate the Star Wars community. This is why I don't use the word fan base. Because fan base implies that, you know, it's filled with fans. And if you're just going to criticize every aspect of The Last Jedi just because you don't like certain things about it, and then accuse them of killing Star Wars, or turn your back on the franchise just because of one thing, which is often Luke, which is immediately hypocritical because isn't that exactly what you're doing? You're just acting like Luke, doing the same thing that Luke did. So you couldn't have hated him that much. But if you're going to act like that, in what definition is that a fan? That is the direct antithesis of a fan. The complete opposite of a fan. If you were a fan and you didn't like The Last Jedi, you would just let that be, accept it for what it is, and then move on. And most importantly, you would encourage them to give it another try. You offer constructive criticism, and then they can build upon that. But no, you don't. You just decide, well, this one film sucked, therefore the entire franchise is now suddenly dead. Where's the logic in that? Where's the logic in that as well? I did my attack up there, and it's appearing on the ground. Right, I will kill this guy. You know, if you're a fan, you don't have to like The Last Jedi. Certainly not. You can. I say you can be a Star Wars fan and you can like just one trilogy. If you can like just the originals. If you don't like the prequels, okay. If you don't like the others, okay. But you don't just then criticize every aspect of the film when you know they're so clearly not what you're saying. Like when those that say The Last Jedi is horribly acted, The Last Jedi's graphics look absolutely terrible. And there are those that do that. I was looking on Amazon at one point, and somebody had actually put bad acting, bad special effects, and I was like, what film are you watching? Because that is not The Last Jedi. No matter how much you dislike The Last Jedi, that is not The Last Jedi. That film is well acted. It looks amazing. Like, you tell me that like, can you really say that moment where Holdo like launches her ship into the Star Destroyer, and can you really say that does not look stunning? Because I can tell you are clearly lying right out of your ass. You just don't want to admit anything is good in The Last Jedi, and I just don't get that. Why do you not want to admit it? You're angry that the film isn't good, and yet you're also angry that it has good things in it. Again, it's just opposite. It's all over the place. Like, you don't know what you want, and it's really annoying. How is anyone supposed to get an idea of what to do if you're not helping them. You know, this is what I mean. If you're going to criticize The Last Jedi for being stupid, well, how about you try and do it in a way that isn't stupid? I mean, the whole not having a white male hero in it, well, that's racism and sexism for you, and they're just about the stupidest things in the world. But somehow, by linking it to Star Wars, just by doing that, you've managed to make the two dumbest things in the world even more stupid, and that is an accomplishment. I'd give you a round of applause, but I already did that. I have a whole video about this. And then there has to be, you know, I say racism and sexism are the stupidest things in the world, especially in the franchise that's filled with how many different species of aliens. There is one other criticism which is way up there as well. Those that are criticizing already that Episode 9 is going to kill off Leia. I cannot believe that I am actually seeing this. Let's see, this level is really long. This part is like 40 minutes long. But I cannot believe that I have seen those comments. That is not only stupid, that is flat out offensive. And it's very clear that nobody in Star Wars cares about offending people. Because otherwise they wouldn't be saying, oh, stop bringing in things like ugly black women. I've seen that. Oh, this is going to be quite a political commentary, isn't it? It's like, just shut the hell up and wake up and go outside. Simply by linking it. So apparently black women are bad. But Yoda and Chewbacca, surely Chewbacca qualifies as being black, and he's played by a white actor, but the actual character is black, isn't he? So, but he's perfectly fine apparently. Despite the fact that he's an alien. He's not even a human. He is much further away. He's a different species entirely. So apparently different genders and different colors are fine, but different genders and different colors are terrible. But a different species altogether, that's perfectly fine. Qui-Gon, you are really not in the best places here. I'm not stuck in an endless loop. Please tell me I'm not stuck in an endless loop. And I'm stuck in an endless loop. Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon, get out. I am stuck. I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do here. I am stuck. Oh no. I'm right at the end of the bloody level. Cut. There we go. Christ, Qui-Gon, what the hell was that? You made me lose like 15,000 studs. I need those studs to unlock things. God, call yourself a Jedi? You don't seem that wise of a Jedi. Come on, this part's long enough as it is. Oops. Yeah, but seriously, a criticism for Leia being killed off. I mean, let's start with the big one here. Well, not the big one. Leia's the big one here. Let's start with the fact that Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die. Otherwise, he wasn't going to return to the role. So already you're criticizing the directors for something that was on the actor's request. And I'm not sure about Luke's death, but even then, you know he's going to be in the next film, so why does it matter? But seriously, Leia's being killed off. That is so obvious. It's like, are you really? It's like you live in your bedroom or somewhere, and you've just never left the house, or it's like you're never on the internet for anything else. But surely, if you're looking at Star Wars on the internet, you'd have come across the news that Carrie Fisher died. And I just find it so stupid that people are willing to say, well, they killed off Han, then they killed off Luke. You know they're gonna kill off Leia, and it pisses me off. Yes! Because Carrie Fisher died. What do you expect them to do? You're not going to be happy if they replace her with another actress. And nobody's going to want that, because that would also be rather offensive to Carrie Fisher. Nobody is going to do that. And it's so obvious, and you're willing to go that far. It's just, Jesus Christ. I just cannot believe that somebody would be that stupid. But then again, we also have racism in this franchise apparently, and you know, I guess it proves that really, yes, they can be that stupid. But anyway, we have one level left, but I'm sure as hell ending this part right now. So next time we have one last enemy to face. It's time for the Duel of the Fates. And I will see you guys then.